Have you ever wondered what happened to Allodial Title, or if Allodial Title and the Republic of the United States even exist anymore? What republic, you say? Oh, heck. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, that republic. I'm Josey Trust, and today you'll be edified to the date, the time, and the democracy. Stay tuned. You see, old Trump said he did not pledge allegiance to the Constitution, and for those of you who missed it, I will explain how that is true, and why he did not pledge allegiance, and how Allodial Title disappeared, all at the same time. A country boy knows that the best way to learn is to keep your mouth shut and your ears open, 'cause the land always has something to tell you if you just listen. And you gotta hear this, America. You see, at each inauguration, the president swears to uphold, protect, and defend the Constitution. Trump told a Colorado judge he never swore an oath to support the Constitution. The presidential oath, which the framers of the 14th Amendment surely knew, requires the president to swear to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution, is a ritual of inauguration. That's when they place their right hand on the Holy Bible. Trump once said he's the first U.S. president since Grant. Now, before your tail feathers get all ruffled up and your ears full of wax, this will all make good sense shortly. Fun fact, Grant was the first president to veto more than 50 bills. You'll notice his picture on the $50 bill. Grant was president from 1869 to 1877. But what happened in America in 1871, the beginning of democracy? Did you know the United States is a foreign corporation? When the U.S. government refers to the United States, 99% of the time it is referring to the corporation known as the United States, Inc. What you need to know about the U.S. government is that it is also a foreign corporation. A republic is a representative form of government that is ruled according to a charter or constitution. A democracy is a government that is ruled according to the will of the majority. So wouldn't that mean the popular vote? Not with the democracy. Through the Electoral College, the majority wins each state. The state, rep, and senator cast their votes, and there is your president. The Electoral College has been in play since its establishment in 1787. Now here's where things got interesting. Constitutional amendments have improved the Electoral College, and over time states have altered the ways they have implemented it. The democracy elected the president to a corporation and to the republic for which it stands. No, remember, as of 1871, the U.S. became a corporation. Now pay attention. The corporate United States is not obligated, nor is it accountable to the people, except to make a profit for its stockholders as a corporation. The corporate interest does not benefit the people, but uses the people in their labor to make a profit for the corporation. You get a job to be compensated in fiat currency to spend that money. Where they advertise for you to spend it, somehow everything is on sale in America every day. This corporation works in concert with the corporate courts and corporate banks to usurp the people's wealth. The transfer of the constitutional authority of the money over to a private foreign bank, the non-federal Federal Reserve, has devastated our lives. The crime of taking the money authority away from the people must be corrected and authority restored to a constitutional form. Here let me share with you all some of a speech in Congress that is on the congressional record of March 17, 1993, regarding the bankruptcy of the United States by then Speaker, Representative James Trafficant Jr., like Grant from Ohio. Give me some of that, Dayton Funk. It is an established fact that the United States federal government has been dissolved by the Emergency Banking Act of March 9, 1933, declared by President Roosevelt, being bankrupt and insolvent. H.J.R. 192, 73rd Congress, in session June 5, 1933. Joint resolution to suspend the gold standard and abrogate. The gold clause dissolved the sovereign authority of the United States and the official capacities of all United States government offices, officers, and departments, and is further evidence that the United States federal government exists today, in name only. The receivers of the United States bankruptcy are the international bankers, via the United Nations, the World Bank, and the International Monetary Fund. The IMF you know where Ethan Hunt works. All United States offices, officials, and departments are now operating within a de facto status, in name only under emergency war powers. With the constitutional Republican form of government now dissolved, the receivers of the bankruptcy have adopted a new form of government for the United States. This new form of government is known as a democracy, being an established socialist, communist order under a new governor for America. This act was instituted and established by transferring and/or placing the office of the Secretary of Treasury to that of the Governor of the International Monetary Fund. Public Law 94, 546, page 8, Section H, R13955. The U.S. Secretary of Treasury receives no compensation for representing the United States. Prior to 1913, most Americans owned clear, allodial title to property, free and clear of any liens of mortgages until the Federal Reserve Act, 1913, hypothecated all property within the federal United States. That's why you have zip codes to the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve, in which the trustees or stockholders held legal title. The cestui trust, your social, your straw man, your all caps, fiction. We'll get back to that in a moment. The U.S. citizen or tenant franchisee was registered as a beneficiary of the trust via his or her birth certificate. In 1933, the federal United States hypothecated all of the present and future properties, assets, and labors of their subjects, the 14th Amendment U.S. citizen, to the Federal Reserve System. In return, the Federal Reserve System agreed to extend the federal United States Corporation all of the credit, a money substitute it needed. Like any debtor, the federal United States government had to assign collateral and security to their creditors as a condition of the loan. Since the federal United States didn't have any assets, they assigned the private property of the economic slaves, the U.S. citizens, as collateral against the federal debt. Basically, if you have a birth certificate, you have a social security number, you insure the national debt. Get it? They also pledged the unincorporated federal territories, national parks, forests, birth certificates, and non-profit organizations as collateral against the federal debt. All has already been transferred as payment to the international bankers. Unwittingly, America has returned to its pre-American Revolution feudal roots, whereby all land is held by a sovereign, and the common people have no rights to hold allodial title or property. Once again, we the people are tenants and sharecroppers, renting our own property from a sovereign in the guise of the Federal Reserve Bank. We the people have exchanged one master for another. Facts, big facts. Grandpa Esau used to say, we in the same old soup, reheated, and I'll be darned. Did y'all know Donald Trump ran for president 3 times and won the 2 times he ran against women? Ooh-wee, they tell me all debts were paid. Since 1939 more so, all rights were transferred to a privilege, made to license for a fee, thus all obligations of citizens assumed. Now that didn't happen in just 1 year, or with a single act of Congress. Looky here, let me explain it like this. In 1939, the United States did not pay off all its debts. Instead, it marked the year when Congress established the first aggregate debt limit, essentially creating the modern concept of a debt ceiling by setting a single cap on the total amount of federal debt that could be issued. Prior to 1939, Congress used to approve each individual debt issuance separately, with limits on specific types of bonds, all trust or bonded. The Public Debt Acts of 1939 consolidated all these limits into a single overall debt ceiling. This allowed the Treasury Department more flexibility in managing the national debt, which is headed by Janet Yellen, or Governor of the Trust. If you made it this far in the edification video, let us know in the comments what you think. I'm Josey Trust, and thank you for learning with Trust Raw Facts. Oh, and y'all be kind and say hello to Mr. T.R.F. Strawman for me. The cowboys singing, and my woman's brangin' food. I'm gone. Y'all be good now and stay safe.